Hey guys, this is Amy at Zoe Beck and Cooper, and I'm going to do my December book haul, December 2024 book haul. So I did buy a few more books than I planned due to the fact that I kind of freaked out in the middle of the month on Read What You Own and unhauled a lot of books. So technically these don't really count because again, I'm like exchanging books on my shelf. But I bought 21 books overall. Some were pre-orders or books that I'd read before, but most of them were not. So again, I got 21. 3 of them I've read, 2 previously, and then 1 I read in December, and then the rest are all new to me. So well, let's just go through it because I did get 1 manga, XXX Holic Ray. Volume 4 by Clamp. So this is the last book so far in this series. It ends on quite a cliffhanger, so I'm not sure if they're ever going to come back to this, but this is a series that I read, the main series, when it was being published first, and then Ray came out a little bit later, and I got the first 3 volumes, and then I didn't know there was any more, and then when I was doing my research on Clamp and on stuff I was looking up, I realized that there was another volume. So I did buy that, and I read it in December. I got a paperback copy of Heart Song by TJ Klune. No, I did not need this. I have my hardbacks. I have the audiobooks, but it was really pretty. So I pre-ordered the Barnes & Noble edition with the sprayed edges. No, I did not need to, but again, this is the Green Creek series. This is book number 3. This one is one of the ones that hurt me. Anyway, I love this series. It's werewolves and urban fantasy, but again, it's male relationships and things, and then found family, and a lot of great things. I love this series. It's one of my favorites. So yes, I bought a copy. And then I got Under the Oak Tree, the novel volume 1 by Suji Kim. So I read this from the library because I wasn't sure I would enjoy the novel, because I read the comic first because that came out first, and I got that one from the library, and then I bought a copy of that, and then I read this one, and I really enjoy this. This to me is like, I would say this is kind of a guilty pleasure for me because I can see the critiques of the story, but I adored it. Like, it was just, I really had fun with it. We're following a young woman who is married off, and the day after her wedding, her husband goes off to fight a dragon, and she doesn't see him for 3 years. So 3 years later, she has been living in her father's home, and it has not gone well because he does not like her. She has a stutter and has never really cared about her. And so she is in that situation, and her husband comes back trying to figure out why she's never gone to his estate, to his, where he has land holding. And so there's a lot of communication issues because he thinks that she wanted to be with her father and she didn't, and there's a lot of other things, but that's just in the beginning. So anyway, I really enjoyed this. This is very much a historical fantasy setting, where there's creatures and stuff, but it's very medieval kind of thing. But it's kind of funny in a lot of ways. It's definitely, for me, it's a guilty pleasure. I would not say this is great, but this was translated. Oh no, cat. I can't remember if it has down the. See, this is where I had trouble with the comic. I couldn't find the translator, and I don't think I could find it on this one either. Yeah, so I don't know why we don't know what the translators are for this. I'd have to do more research. But these are. This was, I believe it's Korean. So I'm almost positive that was what it was. Because maybe she's just from Korea, but it was done in English. No, it says, oh, there it is. I found it. Originally serialized in Korean. But it doesn't say who translated it. So anyway, but I really enjoyed that. Again, that's a guilty pleasure kind of thing. I really enjoyed it. Okay. Sorry. Cooper is just driving me crazy here already. He's not used to this anymore. Okay, so let's do contemporary romances. I did pick up Katie Roberts' Illicit Temptations. It's 2 of her books, Make Me Yours and Make Me Need, which I'm not sure if they were Harlequins or they were Harlequins. So I know that there's another set of 2 books And I don't know if these are pregnancy ones, like, you know, oops, I'm pregnant kind of thing, or what the, you know, accidental pregnancy tropes. I'm not sure, but it's Katee Robert. So if I ever feel like a contemporary romance by Katee Robert, I have this one. So anyway, I don't know a lot about it. I just bought it. I know there's, again, another volume, so I'll probably pick it up at some point. I did pick up the next two in the Rebel Blue Ranch series by Lila Sage. I have read Swift and Saddled, and I'm hoping to get to Lost and Lassoed pretty soon. I think there's a fourth book coming out later this year. This is a really good cowboy romance. There's a Rebel Blue Ranch is, I think it's Wyoming. My brain just stopped. You know, it's in that part of the country, and it's a family run, so all the siblings are getting books, as I said. So this is the middle brother, Wes, and then this is going to be the older brother, the sister, the only sister. She was the first in the first book. So I really enjoyed the first two books, so I'm looking forward to the third. So anyway, those have been fun. I will probably read a few more cowboy romances later into 2025, but I would like to get through those. I picked this up kind of on a whim. The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. So I've heard about this for years, and it was on sale around Christmas or something. I don't know. I picked it up, and I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy it because it's really a slow burn, and it's kind of like people who don't get along, and then I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on. I know the main character, Vanessa, works for the Wall of Winnipeg or some football star, and he's really not a very good boss and everything. So I think she puts in her notice, and she's going to change jobs because this was supposed to only be like a short-term thing anyway. And then he comes begging for her to help him. And I'm not sure why he does that, what's going on. So I hear it's really good. We'll see. I hear it's really, really slow burn, like really, really slow burn. So we'll see. It matters how the story goes and if I can deal with the drama in it. I don't know. And then on a whim, another one. I picked up Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I have read several of her adult books, and so this is her, I would say it's more new adult from what I understand. I think it's upper YA or new adult, and I thought it was close enough to new adult that I would pick it up. And again, I like Ali Hazelwood's stories and characters. So and this has to do with chess and a girl who used to play really a lot, and then something happened with her family, and then a guy who is like a champion, and then she comes in and beats him, and then he's intrigued with her. I don't know, but it sounds cute, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, and then I got a couple of fantasies. The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. So I have been seeing this everywhere, and I've been wanting to buy it for a couple months, but I had just gone on the Read What You Own. So I was like, I can't buy it. So this is about a fortune teller who only tells small fortunes because every time she tells something bigger that somebody's life, it blows up in her face. So I think she somehow gets connected with some other people. I don't know if they're looking for somebody or they're going on an adventure, and they have a cat. So I figure that's good enough for me. So I hear it's cozy. We'll see if I like it. I don't know. And then this one I have been eyeing for a couple months. Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Wiswell, I think. Anyway, so this one is one of those ones, like, it's a weird fantasy. So there is this shapeshifter creature who is kind of like a lump in the middle of the swamp, and somehow she takes care of monsters or monster hunters who come to take her out. She usually kills them. And then she, something happens when she meets somebody and it changes what she does. And I don't know anything else, but it just looks really cool. I got this one from Blackwell's because I went on a buying spree. You'll see in a second from there. And, but this was one I've been looking for. And I think it's still, I don't know if it's still hardback in the US, but it was a lot more expensive. So I just bought that one, and I like that cover better. Okay. So then I did a little, as I said, I've been thinking about translated works and classics and nonfiction. I didn't buy any nonfiction or classics, but I bought a lot of translated works. And I kind of went down the rabbit hole of the cozier ones, the ones that are the, like, the ones that kind of, that hit your heartstrings kind of thing. And I just thought I'd try several different ones that I've been seeing over the last year. I did pick up one that I thought was like a mystery, but it's kind of also the magical realism, which is the Kamigawa Food Detectives by Hisashi Kashiwai, something like that. Anyway, again, I got some of these from Blackwell's because they were cheaper to go that route. This was translated by Jesse Kirkwood. So, again, I'm going to do the Japanese ones first. I am attracted to Japanese literature, and I do like the cozier ones I bought over the years. I bought other ones too. I have, like, as I said, I'm going through my books right now, and I'm finding I have a lot of crime books. So I need to read a lot of mysteries this next year. But I did want to pick this one up. This one has to do, I think, with a restaurant that figures out something like your favorite meal or something and recreates it, something like that. But I don't know. I don't know a lot about these. I just think they look cute. I know there's a second book in that one, so I could continue that series. I got the Shibin Nico Kitchen, which I think in the English version that's coming out soon, or the one in the version here in the US is something like this, the kitten in the Chibiniko Kitchen. I'm not sure. So there's like a different title to it. But this is by Yuta Takahashi, translated by Kat Anderson. I love it when they put the translator on the cover. Anyway, so this one, I think it's about this little restaurant, and I think, again, it's one of those ones where you show up and something happens. I don't know. I don't know a lot about this. I picked this one up on a whim. I guess we'll find out. I hope to read a lot of translated novels this year. I also got The Lantern of Lost Memories by Sanaka Hirigawa, I think. So this one has to do with a Photoshop that some are, memories are attached to photos, and I think it has something to do with that as well. Look, they all have cats in them. I'm gonna read these books anyway. Point is, I think this one's also translated from the Japanese by Jesse Kirkwood. Yeah, I thought this was another one that's not a translator I have not read from or tried from before. So now I got two books by that translator, but different authors, so that's cool. I had that one. And then I also got The Goodbye Cat by Hiro Arikawa. So this is the person who wrote the Traveling Cat Chronicles, and still to this day that makes me want to cry. Anyway, so this is about cats again. So I don't know a whole lot about it. So I don't know. I think it has to do with a couple of cats and their stories with their owners. I'm not positive. I can't remember how that goes, or it's just one cat telling a story. I don't remember. As I said, it says 7 cat stories. Yeah, so I thought it was. I thought this was stories. So this one is translated by Philip Gabriel. So I've read a lot of his translations in the past. So anyway, I'm really excited for that one because it's the same author as the Traveling Cat Chronicles. Kitty, you are just driving me crazy. Get up there. Anyway, he wants attention, even though, I've been home. And then I got a couple of Korean ones because I have bought 2 other ones earlier, I don't know, November or October. So I bought a couple, but I haven't read them yet. But I'm also like, I want to try to get into, again, I said, I'm very Japanese centric. Like a lot of my I would say most of my translated works I would say like 50% of it is Japanese. So I want to kind of expand. So I'm going to try to go into the Korean. And there is Marigold Mind Laundry by Yoon, I think. Anyway, so this one is again, it's just, I don't even know what this one is about. Again, it just has something to do with somebody has powers and she makes this laundry to convert her bad memories into something good because she did something bad. and lost their family. So, I mean, as in they disappeared or something. I don't know. I just saw this listed when I was going through the other ones, and I just picked it up on random. As I said, I was getting kind of click happy at there at the end. Anyway, and the other one, oh, translated. What is this translated? Translated by Shauna Tan. Shauna Tan. Sorry. I had to think about what I saw. Anyway, and then I got The Healing Season of Pottery by Yeon So-min. This is translated by Claire Richards. Again, awesome on the cover. I love this cover. This one I spent a little bit more money. I got this just recently. But again, it's another one where the person, I think she has like some kind of breakdown, and then she decides to either go to the pottery studio and that changes her life for some reason. I'm not sure what it is, but it just sounded cute. And again, there's the cat on the cover, so I got it. Anyway, and then those are all the translated works. I then got another one that has a cat one on it because I was buying those. I got The Ghost Cat by Alex Howard, which I guess he is on TikTok. Who knows? I'm not on TikTok. Anyway, so this is supposed to be kind of in the lines of Before the Coffee Gets Cold and stuff like that. And it's, it starts like in 1902, and something happens where something happens to the cat and it passes away. So it's a ghost cat, and then it's 120 years of the ghost cat in that location, I believe. So anyway, it sounds really cute. Anyway, but that is not translated. That's from Scotland. Anyway, and then I got 2 books that were, when I went to the Barnes & Noble hardback sale. And again, I took back those 2 books from the Dream Harbor series that I decided not to read. I got rid of them. I tried to read the Cinnamon Bun bookstore, and it did not go well. And I was like, okay, no, I'm just taking these books back. Anyway, I think that was in my last vlog that I got them, but I took those back and got credit. And I got Servant of Earth by Sarah Hawley. This is the first book in the Shards of Magic series. So I'm giving her a chance on, this is, I think, her fantasy romance series. I read her, oh, what is that? It's the one that, about the, I can't even think of the Glimmer Falls series, A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon, A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch, and A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire. So I read those, and I liked the first one. I really liked the second one. I didn't like the third one at all. Like, I really got mad at it. So I'm giving her another chance in another series, another, and again, I had credit, so I just got that on the hardback sale. And then I finally got a copy of The Gods Below by Andrea Stewart. Andrea Stewart is a writer friend of mine from when I lived in California, and so she is doing really well. This is her new series, The Hollow Covenant. So this is weird because I buy her books, but I physically can't read them because I read her books as a critiquer, because we used to be in a writing group together back in the day, and it's so hard. I can't switch my brain off when I read her writing. So maybe I'll read this one. I had trouble with The Bone Shard Daughter because of that, because my brain started wanting to edit things, which makes no sense. I mean, it's already been put out. I don't know why my brain does weird things, but this is her new epic fantasy series. And I don't know a whole lot about it, but I had this pre-ordered, and Barnes & Noble just canceled my order of all the stuff I ordered for the fall back in August. And so I was so mad. And this was one of the books that was on that list, and I just I hadn't got around to buying it. And when I did the hardback sale and I had credit, I'm like, I might as well just pay for it. So I got it then. So I don't know if I'll ever read that, but it's going on my shelf because she's my friend. Hopefully I'll read it. We'll see what happens. And then I also got one of my, I think that's my only pre-order besides Heart Song, is the North is is The Night by Emily Rath. So this is the author of Pucking Around and the Jacksonville Rays hockey series. I've really enjoyed I finally finished the first book and then the next novella. So this is her it's a duology, and it has like Finnish folklore in it, and I believe it has yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it. I just bought it kind of because it's so pretty. Anyway, so I ooh, I guess I hadn't looked at the this is what happens when you oh, it just has a different it actually has a different cover on the inside. That's kind of cool. But anyway, so I don't know a whole lot about this. It is so pretty. Anyway, so this is definitely a book I'll be having a book sleeve when I read it. I was hoping to get to this before the end of the year, but my reading again, in pages have there's some kind of bear. I don't know I think he might be a shifter, but I don't know a whole lot about this story. So it just sounded cool. I know there's a death goddess attacks their village. Best friends are then dragged, I guess, into the underworld. I guess we'll see. I don't know. So there's a cruel queen, witch queen, and again, I think that there's a bear shifter or something with a bear. I'm not positive. Anyway, again, I feel that it's more fantasy than fantasy romance. Like, I mean, I think there's romance in here, but it's a lighter touch of it. So I think it's more on the fantasy side, but I still want to read this because I really enjoy her writing, and I'm curious to see how this goes, and it's really pretty. So that is all the books that I got. As I said, I kind of went a little wild at the end, mostly for the translated works. I think it's just because this year 2025, one of my things I want to do is be better about reading stuff that I have on my shelf, but I also want to read out into different genres that I've been neglecting the last few years that I used to read all the time. If you go back farther into my channel, you'll see that I used to read a lot of different genres that I'm not even touching, and I haven't in the last 2 or 3 years. And I don't think that's a whole COVID thing. I think it really is just I was following what a lot of other people were doing, and I think I want to, as I said, we're gonna work on the goals, and that'll probably be the video after this. I'll talk about my goals, and that that'll play into that. So we'll see how that goes. So anyway, if you guys have read any of these, let me know which ones you think I should pick up sooner rather than later. As I said, I want to read a lot of these next year. We'll see how it goes. And Cooper and I will see you guys later. Bye.